But next up, let's do this. Let's head down. Now that we have resistance to poison, we can also make entrance into this vault. Get another ring out of the deal. I don't mind that. I think I can take down some hornets on my lonesome here. Famous last words, I know, but managed to get through in one piece, so that's pretty sweet. Positive energy, always appreciated. Nice thing to see. Okay, so you might mutate me further, but maybe, just maybe, we can poke through. Oh, what a nightmare. Let's do this. Holy crap. Okay, that's about what I've come to expect from you. Potions still can't restore our health, so that's not going to be an option moving forward. Potentially already regret all my actions in life. Maybe should have drank our last haste potion before even walking down here. Okay, that's slightly better. One more Force Lance is not guaranteed to kill us by any stretch. Again, probably should have put on the Spirit Guardian amulet before walking in here. Might have been a prudent call. Don't hit me, sir. Don't hit me. Get absolutely wrecked. Outplayed and calculated. Oh me, oh my. Big Honor is a fun god. I agree. Yeah, definitely a silly one. Do we want to use a shield? There was a buckler. We're currently using a +2 buckler on our character, so all good in that department for the time being. But always thank you for the help there. Holy crap, I'm stupid. After all this. Interesting. Can no longer send ourselves to the abyss, unfortunately. Mistakes have definitely been made. Oh gosh. I was hoping that they were spread out a little bit more than this. I probably should have just brought them all to this bottom section, waited a few turns for them to collect to us. Probably would have been prudent. But hey, we can blink out of here. That's probably my first kind of gut response. Spend space, try and pop out. We'll lose a little bit of health, potentially even die from it, but if we get lucky, we'll be popped up here. I guess here is the best we can do. Try and pop up. No, exactly say that. I think that that's our best bet. Alternatively, let's do a quick check. I was originally hoping to condenser vein and take care of a lot of the monsters here before they got an opportunity to hit us. Didn't go great. If you're using the +2 buckler, you can get rid of the vampiric hover to free an inventory slot. Right? I kept it around just in case. I'm like so tempted to swap over despite my usual proclivity for shields. It's right there. So until we need the spot, I'm holding on to it, but you're very right in that that'll most likely be the very first thing that we get rid of moving forward. Okay, you're immune to poison, all of you. That's great. You stepping on dispersal might not actually be bad for me. Hopefully it'd send me out somewhere this way. Not out of the thick of it yet, but slightly better than we were for sure. There's a funny bug in Trunk. They added items that make you lose holier mana when you attack. Using it with Genie crashed the game. Oh jeez. Makes sense. Try and spend all of your health points to do an effect. But that's an interesting item. Does it do something good to make up for that downside? Okie dokie though. Back to the thread at hand. We can attract everyone down here. We could potentially do a quick skirt around. Dispersal Trap is of course going to throw a bit of a wrench into any plans in that regard. So let's instead Condenser Vein. Immediately get Poison Clouds, the one thing that's completely useless to us at the moment. Unfortunately, all these buddies are fully and totally immune, so that's a shame. Great start. What's next on my agenda of not personal, of potential survival techniques here. Guess we could haste and try and kill our way out of this. We could mutate and try and get rid of Frail real quick. I hate to do it. Let's mutate real quick. Did get slightly more robust, so that's good. Completely ineffectual secondary mutation there. Probably not the best move. You think it's more likely to produce poison or mythic clouds when your evocations is low? Unfortunately so. No, very unlikely that we got any of the good clouds. Like, I think there's no chance of us getting acid or miasma at this point. But I was hoping for that off chance of getting flame or cold. But probably not the best move there. Oh, corrupt takes... Wait, why can I not? Can you only corrupt a level once? Shucks. I mean, alternatively, pretty much every space on the board is full. So a blink is going to bring us either here or down here somewhere. We're just struggling so much for the last breaths of life here. I'm pretty sure it's not looking great regardless, but hey, maybe, just maybe, we can do something. It does many damages. It also gives -4 intellect to discourage non-attacking spellcasters from using it. Okay, cool. So I like the trade-off there. It's definitely an interesting one. And yeah, 1 corrupt per level. Good to know. Unfortunate, but good to know. So I'm gonna haste. Then we're gonna go for some tricky plays here, I think. Oh man, so Ben's face most likely takes us back down here, and we're dead. Granted, with that out of the way, it could alternatively bring us up here, and we're good to go. We're out of the thick of it, and feeling great about ourselves. Alternatively, we could step into the dispersal trap, randomly blink everyone around. This buddy is most likely sent out this way. This buddy could be sent anywhere. These two probably aren't currently in our sight range. We would get sent either down here or here. So we don't actually transport very far. Don't know how I feel about that. But does it open us up more in the future? Because the main thing is, if we can end up in this spot and not dead, our personal blink will be much more likely to send us up this way. I guess it will be like a 50-50 shot. Same amount of squares seen in both directions. So that's interesting. Right now it's a much less than 50% chance that we head up this way. Again, we're putting a lot of thought and effort into this on the off chance that we make it out in one piece. You never really know. You know what? I believe, Luganu, you're one of the patron saints of distortional enemy. And I've never doubted you for a moment in my life. Take me away. Okay, it does put us there. Oh my gosh, it's so tempting to take one step forward, and then we're likely to get out of here in one piece. That versus blinking? I guess blinking we're probably dead anyway, right? What a wild ride. Too dangerous, right? Definitely in a vacuum, far too dangerous. But let's weigh it up against our alternative options here. What else can we possibly do? I don't think there's any shot that we blast you out of existence. We could banish you. Hope that no one else steps through. Let's do a quick check. Banish has a 22% chance. That's not great. One-shot melee hit scenario. Oh, far and above for the last while. But sometimes it's about the lowest level of risk, because I think we're almost predetermined, predestined to die here unless we do something drastic and get very lucky in the process. There we go. Brain took a moment there. So 22% chance to banish you, probably like a 1% chance for charm. Yeah, no, we're looking for, nothing's gonna one-shot you. You're immune to poison, so Curari doesn't work. What else have we got at our disposal? A fear scroll, if we randomed into it, that's something. Is regen in Abyss an option? Unfortunately, no. We lost too much PD in the process here. We are hasted, right? So if we're lucky, in terms of the placement of our enemy turns, we might not even get hit moving up here. So we could try and just do a quick skirt. Tokyo Drift. Head for the finish line. Well, I think with most of the sane options put aside, not available at the moment, please leave a message. Let's go for something so crazy, it just might work. Never didn't have it. Beautiful. Just as we carefully planned and calculated, never a doubt in my mind. Let's get the heck out of there. Oh. I, of course, just breathe a sigh of relief for fun. It's not like I was worried or nothing. But, oh, we do not deserve this whatsoever. But I will hightail it out of here. Say goodbye to this horrible gauntlet. It's funny, we were actually on good pace for the start of today's session. We were making our way through the dungeon surprisingly quickly, and I was looking at the time, and I was like, only an hour's passed, and we're going into lair. How incredible. And then, of course, we spend over half an hour just in this one gauntlet, which, yes, as David mentioned, very easy gauntlet. Just time-consuming is all. But it was a wild ride, and I'm glad it shook out that way, for sure, to say the very least. Now let's just return to our regularly scheduled programming here. Maybe, just maybe, stuff that's a bit more manageable. Maybe not in terms of overall difficulty, but at least in expected outcomes, as it were. Let's just poison you and run away. Komodo dragons, always a little bit frightening. We should also, before I forget any further, put on our new fancy cloak. Okay, a bit of a red and blue motif, a little bit of green with the boots. I guess the boots are going to be lost eventually anyway, thanks to our hoof mutation. So we're actually in a pretty decent spot overall here. Also slightly worried about that boulder beetle, but if we can get some poison stacks going, wonderful. Wait around the corner where they can't jump out at us too easily. Wonderful. That works completely. And oh my gosh, we're finally getting rid of some of these mutations. We can heal again. It's a wondrous miracle. Feels good, man. But okie dokes. Again, feels weird to be back on the regular dungeon. I feel like my mind is still stuck on that day, lost in the I was gonna say ever shifting, but it is a fairly static place. But definitely lost in the gauntlet. And now comes the time to drop that vampiric halberd. Inventory's finally full. Gave my brain long enough to mule over the idea of swapping it over. I guess we haven't found a better shield than our buckler yet. So that's something. Got ID some scrolls and potions and get rid of my seal, any mutation pots. So the my seal was fortunately a temporary mutation. I'm still tempted to drink our last mutation potion for this frailty, because I don't love it. But for now, I'm leaving it alone. We could start quaff and read IDing. It's something that I'm usually fairly mind immediately went to opposed to, but I think that's too strong of a word because I don't have an issue with other people read IDing or quaff IDing whatsoever. It's just something that I usually don't find myself doing. I enjoy kind of working with what we've got. Also, I gotta get the heck out of there, especially while we're frozen and looking a little bit scared. Much better. But I generally, don't find myself read IDing and just trying to live long enough to get the IDs required to identify everything the old-fashioned way. Unfortunately, some runs you just don't run into nearly enough identified scrolls, at least not early on. You find yourself with almost nothing, all these unidentified consumables sticking around your inventory for such a long period of time. And then towards the latter half of the game, after everything's already identified, that's when they of course show up, just in troves, in bundles. But we'll see. I will give it a little bit longer, I think, to potentially find some the natural way. And if not, we will find ourselves trying some random beverages, reading some good literature, see how it goes. You like to drop lots of stuff before entering time portals. You don't have to leave anything useful behind. I very much like to drop lots of stuff. Am I very effective at it? Do I do it very often? Not so much, but I definitely try to remember. And sometimes, rarely as of late, I've gotten a couple of opportunities where I actually remembered for once in my life, but for the most part, I feel my go-to action is to completely forget and feel like a fool. Okay, let's see. Hydra, four-headed we should be okay against. Fantastic. Love to see it. And you tend to start read-IDing when you have a piece of ego armor and a weapon you want to enchant. Right, I guess if you have an opportunity to use everything, we're close to the point for our scrolls. I mean, I wouldn't want to read a fear scroll without any impetus to do so, just because they are such a great escape option at this stage in the game. But besides that, I think you're on the right track, where there aren't a lot of other effects that we'd be too upset about reading by accident. Magic mapping, we might obviously want for the future, but not the end of the world for sure. So we'll give it, again, just a wee bit longer, but there's a fairly decent chance, I think, that we, for once in our DCSS Great Player attempts here, actually go about read-IDing scrolls. Also, this has been an interesting fight. Bit of a battle of attrition, but we make it out on top, which is solid. One sec. Slight tickle there. But generally things are back on track, finally going well again, no longer in constant panic mode. Oh, this looks like we get shoals. Oh, we've also been mesmerized. That's not fantastic, but at least not lethal in this situation. Shoals, though, is a very mixed bag when it comes to Demonspawn. In general, I love the Shoals branch because despite its difficulty and how often I find myself near death in there, it's such a great resource for javelins and boomerangs. And so that's always a beautiful addition for any run like this where we're very much using thrown weapons to our advantage. The flip side of that, of course, is that they also have silver boomerangs and silver javelins sometimes. So specifically on our Demonspawn, certain fights are going to be an absolute nightmare going through shoals. So we'll have to think carefully about that one and decide when we get a little bit closer to how much we want to risk it all there. Collier used to start read-IDing at D4 to find temple fast if you had magic mapping, but since they increased fated altars, you rarely am without a god by the time you get to D4. Yeah, you're a fan of the fated altar gambling. I think in my personal play I am, but when I'm trying to do slightly better on camera, at least more consistently I should say, because better is maybe pushing it a wee bit, I find myself doing slightly fewer fated altars. But that's awesome. I like hearing about people that make use of those because I think it's a really fun mechanic. Let's see. More trash to drop. Tropa, I don't really need. Stones have probably reached the cap of their usefulness. So we can stop picking up those sons of guns. Let's grab the potion here. And I just love shoals because it has tridents galore. I mean, you caught me red-handed. You're not wrong. Can't even defend myself against that. I am definitely a bit of a trident man myself. But when you add javelins into the mix, it's just a match made in heaven. I guess the but that originally prompted there was most likely just how scared I am of those silver brands. You gotta respect the holy instruments of our destruction when you're working with some demonic heritage in the mix. But okay. Still going alright in lair. We managed to take down a 5-headed Hydra, so that's another good indication of our overall power level here, how comfortable we can feel moving forward. And you're not very picky, so most gods make the early game much easier. Yeah, especially if you're happy to switch up your build type on a fly. Because I guess the only like bad examples are truly disadvantaged picks that you get from Fated Altars are things like Trog on a spellcaster, or the opposite side of things when you're planning on casting no spells, you have like crap aptitudes across the board and you're far invested in another way. Again, with the magic gods can be a little bit of a pain, but for the most part, not going to be a deal breaker. In fact, yeah, one of our recent runs, our Palantonga was a follower of Zin, thanks to a Fated Altar. And that was fun because it gave us an opportunity to try out Zin for the first time. At least give it a good shot for the first time. And I came to really appreciate the god, so that was a lot of fun. But Snorg here is gonna be rough. I mean, we already met your younger sibling. And the fact that we spared, it's not Guppy. Burpy? Gumpy? What's the name of the starving troll? Anyway, we spared one of your kind, Snorg. Can't you see? Can't you throw us some mercy? Pergy. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's close, but also not really. And yeah, with Deep Dwarf, you don't go for Fated Altars. That makes sense. You're so often relying on your DD choice for survivability. Some source of healing or the like. I can definitely respect that. Hello, Basilisk. Getting impaled on our spiny flesh as you try your best to take us out while we're turned to statue. I would feel sorry for you, but not so much. Also, oh, that's an interesting mechanic that I didn't realize. We had set our skill target with our original spear. And then by swapping to a different spear, it seems like we cleared that target. So we've actually overtrained polearms a little bit. I'm glad I noticed now. Otherwise, we could have been training this for far too long. We will, of course, bring it up to the next round number, regardless of how ineffective it is overall here. And let's start training something on the defensive side of things. Maybe even bring fighting back online for a little bit at the very least. Armor we can bring up. And what else? I think evocations or throwing probably get my next one. Evocations, we have the early condenser vein. We have a decent few wands here to start off. So let's start training that right away, shall we? Also bringing it up to around the 12 mark. We do plan on bringing spellcasting into the mix at some point, but it's a bit of a tough one as to when exactly we'll find it in ourselves to make the swap. Now that we've identified a decent number of our emergency scrolls, not the fear that we otherwise might like, but we will go back to trying to find heal wounds. Hopefully find it. I'm in desperate need. Ooh, Potion of Haste. That's nice to restock on. A piece from Zom's chessboard can probably hit the dirt for the time being. Something that is occasionally useful in very unique situations, but for the most part I find myself lugging around without any actual use. And 14 for polearm seems right when you upgrade to a demon trident. There we go, that's the silver lining, the more positive way of thinking about it. I appreciate that. I like the cut of your jib. We're just perfectly in position, of course, for the future. Even tridents, I think, might have 14 as the skill cap in general, not just demon ones. So regardless, we should be able to take advantage of that. And now I have to decide where I'd like to lead this crew of monsties. Unfortunately, none of our stairs are in a fantastic location. Snorg is still awaiting us somewhere up there, which I do not like. So best bet is probably going to be down here somewhere. This one, I'm worried that the monsters will overcrowd and make their way around. So this one might be our best bet. I don't really... Crap. Snorg, you weren't supposed to see this. Can take one hit from a Nethack maybe and get around. Oh crap. You enraged. You son of a gun. Can I just banish you? 60% chance? Get out of my sight? No. Oh, that's a shame. Let's try one more time. Again? No? Please, game. Please, I need this. Is it smite targeted? I don't know if it is. I don't think so because it has the line of fire imagery on it. But that's fine. Let's just leave all you behind. Goodbye, friends. Don't love this whatsoever. Nope, not that stair. Maybe this stair? Still not great. Essentially want to skip past this pack for the time being. I mean, we can head down here, do a quick skirt around the top, maybe get to that downstairs. And check it out. Just move, if not slowly, then at the very least, try and move a little bit more deliberately than I normally do. Gosh darn it, Snorg. You just never give up, huh? Can't catch a break. Failed 3 60% in a row. One of these days. It's gotta work. Come on, I wanna banish someone. Oh my gosh, oh my piety. My sweet, sweet piety. Oh me oh my. I'm getting out of here. Oh, what a rough shot. Be able to kill it with Kiari, right? It's almost a sunk cost fallacy at this point where I want to keep throwing the banish at it. Oh, jeez Louise. A wee bit rough to say the least. Almost made bug report about Trunk because you don't realize new stat system was intended. Oh, that's fun. I haven't checked out too much of the Trunk stuff, so excited for when that makes its way over to the main branch. Try out some new stuff. But yeah, I think Grim, you are correct in your overall interpretation there. Best bet moving forward is most likely to try and kill Snorg with Kiari, especially since I don't really want to go down this stairwell again. Those were a lot of death yaks, as well as blink frogs, to make matters just that much better. Oh. So let's see, where's our unexplored downstairs? It's this one in the bottom right. It's going to be a little tricky to get to, unless we face our fears, take our problems head on. Let's give it a shot. Hey Snorg, remember me. It's over, friend. Just get all the poison stacked up, slap you around a bit. You are berserked, but you're so close to dead. I probably should play it smart and cure you once more, and that way we can walk away. While the poison takes effect? Beautiful. Hopefully we didn't mulch either of those, and in fact we did not, so we still managed to retain both our Curari darts. That's absolutely fantastic. Can bend space too, yeah, and keep that buffer distance. We'll let the poison take its toll. Definitely a good thing to keep in mind. Fortunately, not necessary in our case. Looking to be alright overall. And luckily nothing's too fast here, so we don't have the same problems as the enraged Snorg. Ooh, I definitely want to reach past you and take out this Death Yak if possible. That sure would be swell. And we'll just keep manually attacking here. Not doing great, but at least softening up the Death Yak before they manage to make it through. Oh, and if regular Yaks keep beating them into the gap, don't mind if I do. Unfortunately, there we go. You can see if I try and spam it, it doesn't work very well. So it does slow down our progress here, trying to do very intentional prodding like this, but does very much improve our odds of success. So let's hopefully finish off the job, but we know that we can start retreating if need be, and beautiful. I also haven't been paying too much attention during level ups, so we should double check. Have I gained any mutations? No, okay. Just wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything in my haste, but we're looking all right in that regard. Let's check out this final stairs, shall we? Don't know how good the odds are that we make it to that volcano. When you leave a floor after discovering that there's a time portal there, it does, I believe, slow down the closing of the portal relative to if you stay on the floor itself looking around. So there is that, but we've also for sure spent a decent amount of time exploring our relationship with Death Yaks there, trying to chunk through. So I wouldn't be surprised if this time portal shuts before we get the opportunity to search it out. Would be a bit of a shame. We do at least have a wee bit of fire resistance at our disposal. Not getting any proximity messages here. Might have missed one in the fight. That's one of the few things that has tempted me more so than other features in terms of RC editing, or in the case of offline editing your .ini file, because you can cause it so that the game gives you a force more, a paused text box that you have to enter past on purpose when you get messages about gates. But turns out it's probably just closed already, unfortunately. Collapsed entrance, so sad. But maybe we'll take that as the potential mercy that it might be, because hey, who knows? Maybe we would have died down there, right? That's what we can tell ourselves so we don't feel horrible about our decisions in life. Okay. Oh, I've backed myself into a corner. That's very dumb. Iron Leech. 35 damage. I can maybe sneak past you if I'm lucky. That's fine. I'll probably end up just reading teleport scroll and getting out of here. Thought you was gonna be fine in ice caves due to cold resistance. Turned out the Death Yak themed ice caves. Ice caves, yeah, no, even with the cold resistance, I mean, it's almost necessary to have cold resistance, because if you get a vault just full of simulacrums, they're going to wreak absolute havoc on you without at least that first pit. But even with it, they're definitely one of the more difficult sections or time portals in the game in terms of the monsters that show up at the very least. Hum-de-dum. What do I wish to do here? I think I will take the teleport strat. Did not bring me somewhere very nice. Oh no, and this is so much worse. I was hoping for no monsters up here so we could at least crawl our way towards the stairs in one piece, but we will come head to head with the Hydra. So we will instead give ourselves a one space gap so we can read another teleport. And then what? Walk diagonally. That should do it. Not very far, friends. These teleport scrolls will be the death of me as usual. But hey, there we go. We actually did manage to pull a little bit of a ring around the rosy. Get a bit waggy with it. And yeah, there's 0 simulacrums with 10 Death Yaks. You made it through, but had to use some potions. That's good to hear. You made it in one piece, but I can respect the difficulty of that for sure. That's a rough spot. Okay, let's reset. Let's do this one more time. Blind Frog? Excuse me? Friend? Where did you go? Excuse me? Bit of a weird one. Also accidentally took a step in a horrible direction. Absolute trash tier movement right now. But never punished. Not even worried about it, of course. Read another ID. Maybe get our heal wounds. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, lignification. That's cool too, I guess. That's fine. Oh me, oh my. Run the full gauntlet in terms of this run so far. Real mix of achievable progress, moving very quickly, no worries whatsoever, and then absolutely brutal time on the other half. Let's just bring the one death yak. Perfect. Can I take a second one? Could bring it upstairs with me. Probably should have actually just like curaried you or something. Hey friend. Better late than never. Let's smash you with one of these. Then we can try and poke our own. I guess maybe try and output some damage while they're still slowed. It did not work out very well. That's fine. That should be close enough now to let poison finish our work for us. Blink Frog, you almost ruined the day. Very scary. Please don't do that. I do not appreciate it. You, friend, are not resistant to poison, and you're slow enough. I think we can cheese you a little bit. So let's just run away, poke and prod, run away, poke and prod. Beautiful. And slowly but surely, we'll whittle our way through the forces arrayed before us here. And we will be victorious. Mark my words. We're calling our shot. With no hesitancy or doubt. It's not like I'm scared for half the encounters that we find ourselves in or anything like that. Of course not. Okay, Hydra is a little bit sketchier. 6 heads is the worst that we've seen so far. Oh, Torpor Snail is not the other thing you want to see. Crap. Okay, not slowed as long as we can't see said snail, so if we just use corners to our advantage, we can bring this Hydra upstairs instead. Beautiful. Now what do I wish to do but you, friend? Could always use Charming. If worse comes to worse. Banish you with that 60% shot. Not like we've ever missed that before or anything. Alternatively, we can use some Ice Blast potentially to get a little bit of an initial amount of damage going. Let's go with the Banish. Holy crap. First try, never a doubt. And the 6-headed Hydra is devoured by a terror in reality, leveling us up and giving us the 2nd level of Sharp Spines. Okay, so we will have a decent amount of AoE damage to melee attackers. Not too shabby. Wand of Digging I do want to take. Let's drop Ring of Wizardry for now. So we might change our mind in that regard at some point here. We have been giving ourselves intelligence, so we really should become at least a semi-regular spellcaster at some stage in the game. So if not, that's of course totally fine as well. Whatever gets us through in one piece is far more important than looking like the smartest person in the room. Because we all know that's not true anyway. And you didn't know banishment yields XP, you thought the monster is banished to the abyss without a gain of experience. So yeah, I thought the same thing. So I feel like it is a remnant of an older edition. I feel like Lugano used to not give you experience on banishment, and it was a bit of a trade-off as to whether or not it was worth it. But to make it more of a thematic thing, it got changed up. Because yeah, I had the exact same opinion just earlier in the stream, Railbird. But I'm very much happy to take advantage of the situation as it truly lies. Seems like a pretty sweet change. I do enjoy it if just because it allows you to fall a bit more into the themes of Luganu. Like, you're still spending piety in order to achieve the banishment. So at the end of the day, it's nice to play as a little bit more of a devout follower of good old Luganu here. Actually make some progress at expanding their domain, you know? The new mutation UI is pretty cool. Tell you that sacrificing skills as Nolveru doesn't make remaining skills train faster. Oh, that's strange. It's very interesting. I'm sure little caveat situations, niche interactions like that are exactly why we have things like Drunk in the first place, to try and find those problems before they make their way to main branch. Because I would guess that's not intentional. Even though, I don't know. Actually, wait a second. What am I talking about? I don't know how Rue works. It's weird. Sometimes my brain is so convinced that I know things, and it will pretend to be aware whatsoever as to the general gist of what we're talking about. Silly old me.